And this is our first Manday. What's up, dudes?
Hola.
Sup?
All right, the first and most important question is, what are you drinking? We'll start with Adam. Adam, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Narragansett, which is a beer from Maine. It's a beer from Maine. It's it's unfeasibly cheap. It's also the closest thing. It's also the closest thing in like the same universe of price that actually tastes like real beer.
So you're saying it's the PBR of the North?
He's saying he's poor.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. like,
yes.
Ed, are you still in grad school? You know what this is like, man.
All right, Ben, what are you drinking?
The good old gin and tonic.
Beautiful. That's a good time. That's also what I'm having. Awesome.
My glass is fancier, though.
Eric, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Captain Morgan Long Island mix. It's bueno.
Just the mix, just straight. Please tell me you've got a plastic bottle. Show me the plastic bottle.
Oh yeah, it's back there.
It's not plastic, it's glass. It's got a handle.
No.
It's glass. I know because my
No, it's
girlfriend
plastic.
loves that shit.
It's plastic. I got the plastic one. I got the cheapo one, man. I paid like $20
That's
for
what I'm
the
talking
fifth.
about. Josh, are you drinking anything?
Water.
That is not
He's-
illegal.
He's 20, for anyone that knows, which means, I guess, underage drinking online, someone could see it against the law, blah, blah,
Probably
blah.
not the best.
Yeah, by
As
August,
long
we
as that
expect you to
is-
be a hardcore alcoholic.
As long as that is water.
It looks like water.
It
I
can
mean,
look
to be
like
fair-
water, but it doesn't
be
need
fair-
to smell like water because we can't smell it. It doesn't need to sound like water because we can't hear it. So
I mean, I
as
can
long as
shake it.
looks like water, then it's water. So
Clear. Hey, I also am drinking water.
yeah,
Me too.
this is probably Coke.
Kane?
Iced tea. Duh.
All right,
Double
so,
Coke iced tea.
how was your weeks, dudes? So basically, I had my car break down twice in the last week. I did just get it back from the repair shop, though, and it looks like it's good to go, so I'm pretty amped about that. Not spilling oil all over concrete everywhere. I don't know. Apparently, the dude said it was a oil pressure gauge, which I guess has something to do with
Thing,
spilling
Which
oil
makes
on
it
the ground.
spill oil everywhere.
Yeah.
defibrillator.
Other than that, I went and got myself a new tablet, which I'm really amped about, and we'll talk about that later. What was your week like, Josh? That's so empowering.
Much less exciting. I did 4 miles this morning though, in like 34 minutes.
Real?
So that's nice.
To it.
Eric?
Just traveling this weekend. Went down to see the fam for 4th of July. Blew stuff up. Recently started a new position at my job, which has alleviated a lot of student
Oh,
stress.
yeah.
So I get to just kind of chill at work, which is very nice. Oh,
Then
and
you
I
get-
was like legitimately like a block from a tornado. Fun.
I was gonna say, you texted me and was like, I love now that I get paid hourly that I just get to get paid chilling in this closet.
Yeah, basically. Like you guys, so most of you guys were at Jules, so you know the Walmart that's out there on Church Road, the Walmart in Liberty, right? So was the 54th Street and the Arby's and stuff over there? When you guys were there?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
okay.
right there.
So that's where I work. I work like in the same parking lot as that Arby's, and
Neat.
the Walmart had its windows blown out of it. So yeah, it was legit. Like it was one of those like the phones all started blowing up, saying that there was a severe weather. And I was like, guys, if there was severe weather, the tornado sirens would be going off. And then immediately the tornado sirens start going off, and I was like, real cool, guys. And then I look out the back because like I'm looking out the front and I'm like, it looks cloudy, whatever. It's been cloudy all day. Then I look out the back, and there's just like a freaking funnel cloud over our building. I'm like, let's go ahead and get in the inventory room. So it got serious fast, but I survived.
Fine.
Guys,
So I was thinking about this. Did you guys just scream across the sales floor, like, everyone into this closet?
well, I mean, it was one of those things that was
If you're a
kind of
customer
obvious because,
shopping.
like, you got to think, like, all of our phones that are on display all blew up. Severe weather, take alert. So, like, there was no missing it. There's 50 phones blowing up, and their phones that they had were blowing up. And so everybody's like, "What's going on?" And we're like, there's a tornado, and so you guys can either leave or you can come to the inventory room. No in betweens. And so
Did you
that's what we did.
say?
You can leave and die.
Well, yeah, basically. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Come
'cause
on,
we
you want to
we
live.
can't legally lock somebody in there against their will. If they want to go chase a tornado, it's their deal. So
America! Fuck
Yeah.
yeah!
that's right.
Ben, what did you do this week?
What did I do this week? I've slept a lot. I've played a lot of World of Warcraft. Oh, today I actually went outside and I went to school for like an hour, file a reimbursement for my trip to Alaska that I get back from like a month ago because I've just been lazy and haven't filed to get paid back for that. And I'm going to get new tires on my car tomorrow, so that's fun.
Thank you,
On
reimbursement
the
check.
car or the Jeep?
Well, new
Are
tires.
you getting like 44-inch
White.
Super Swampers?
Get at the white wall tires.
I'm getting almost literally the cheapest tires I can buy. But,
I've heard that's the best way to take care of your car long term.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
works out pretty good.
But the good news is the next time I need tires, I should have more money than I do right now.
In theory. Wait, hold on. Are you still planning on being a scientist/professor?
Shut up.
Okay.
It depends on your definition of scientist. Steve Irwin
right, so
was
we-
probably a scientist.
He was also a movie star. His slash was a lot better.
Yeah. Well, he's halfly there, is the way
You
I
just got to upgrade the slash.
I don't
man.
know that I would call him a
Is-
scientist.
Ben, I've got some advice for you. Start wearing shorts to work more often. It's got to be how he started.
Yes.
You have
These are what I wore to work for
Oh my-
probably as the last month because it was warm enough. This is what I go to work in, basically. Yes, this is my Chewbacca shirt.
I want to see those shorts again. That was a lot of thigh.
So we have one guy that lives on the East Coast. So Mr. Adam Knight, 6'4", 160 pounds, coming in from the sole representative of New Jersey, Jezzy. What's up?
New Jersey. Yes.
Excuse me, Scott. That's 6'5".
160.
Oh no, the weight is correct.
I tease.
but-
I've
I've actually kind of had something of an eventful week. I had, I started the week with 2 classes that I was going to teach this fall. I've ended the week with 1 class because we had a new. For those who are unaware, I'm a PhD student at Rutgers, and I feed myself by teaching. And so I had 2 classes. Now I have 1 class because we got a new hire who's higher on the totem pole than I am, and he wanted it, so that's what happens. But I might get another one. I might not.
How does
Wait.
that affect your pay?
Yeah.
Substantially.
Oh,
Really?
so you're eating
cut-
right.
Yeah.
In my master's program, they gave us the stipend, and then they assigned us classes after that. So our class load didn't affect how much we actually get per semester. That sucks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually, the way that they do it for Ben is actually more beneficial for the college, because they can just be like, we're going to pay you whatever, and I'm going to work the crap out of you.
That's
Good
what they're
luck.
doing. Yeah, that's kind of what.
Whereas
So
with
they put-
Adam, it's like, we're only going to pay you for what you work. Don't worry about it.
That's
Which is
still
good.
much. That's still much better for students. Trust me. It's a supply and demand thing. There is an ample supply of graduate students who are willing to give their highly skilled
Right. And I'm not saying that it's
Like,
not
no.
bad. It's yeah. I don't know. A happy medium would be the ideal spot. Like,
So,
obviously
Adam, what
you.
What else other than getting your classes revoked, dude?
Oh,
I'm sure that you had something else there.
My girlfriend and sister got married. I played a song, and it made everybody cry.
What?
So-
Oh,
What was the track?
Oh, it it was a song that like the bride was way into.
Okay.
I was having real trouble not laughing. Because,
Just one of those.
yeah, it's like straight out of the book, The Song of Solomon. At one point in time, the singer refers to to his bride as his sister. At another point in this particular verse, he mentions that his hands are dripping with myrrh and honey.
That's not creepy.
No, and actually, the first time.
Isn't there like embalming stuff?
Well,
Maybe? Question mark? Is that a problem?
well, it's better than what apparently some people in the church heard it as. They thought they heard that the singer's hands were dripping with her.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
That would have been
Ew.
better.
Hands? What do we got going on over here? Not just like... We're not just talking fingers here. We're talking full-on hand. Great visual, man.
Well, congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've never
I'm proud
made
of you
anyone
for
cry
not
from
laughing. So.
songs.
Yeah,
So,
it was a grand old time.
The last couple of weeks have been really big deal, not just for us, but for America. Gay marriage is legal,
Especially
or as
for
we call it now,
Josh,
marriage.
who's not had a week, apparently. Gosh. What has Josh done? Let's go. We skipped somebody.
No, he just glazed right over himself.
No, because he ran. He
Oh,
ran.
yeah, he did run. That's right. Okay, never mind. That's how little you did, Skeevy.
I mean, I had the 4th of July thing. That was kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Remember?
Yeah, we just completely.
Yeah,
missed. Okay,
Josh
so
is
back
probably
to gay
more
marriage. Did anybody get gay married?
Did anyone get gay marriage? By the way, any of us that are married could now unmarry and all marry each other. Just throw that out there. It's an option.
Wait,
Do
Well,
what
aren't,
you
aren't
will.
some people trying to marry, like, multiple people?
Oh, and one of them is married, and so it's an even number.
Yes.
isn't it
Um,
legal? Isn't it legal to like you can get one of each, right?
I think that's how it works.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's math.
I'm okay with that.
Get out of here.
This is MANDAY. Does she not remember the rules?
He just included me.
Get out of here. I panned the camera to you for half a second.
Josh, so on 4th of July, you said you had big 4th of July awesomeness. Did any of that involve watching women's soccer?
No, it did not.
Oh my gosh.
I heard all
I'm
about
actually
it.
really sad that I did not watch it because I actually enjoy soccer. Like, especially being here in KC, we've got good stuff going on, so it's fun. And
Yeah, you do.
I really like watching the Men's World Cup last year was a blast, and I just was legitimately too lazy to turn it on. Basically, is the
Yay.
But
Did anyone watch it?
I think let me see. I'm gonna do a screen share here in just a second of like best meme I've seen in a long time. 1 second. But go ahead without me, and then I'll just screen
Is it
share.
the dog?
No, it's way better.
Ben,
I
you
don't
didn't
even know what
watch
the
it,
dog
did you?
is.
Women's side by side thing, because I saw that and I just about it's like it's a woman soccer player. with
Don't-
blood gushing down her face, and then a shot of Cristiano Ronaldo noticing that someone ran by him and then pretending that he had gotten whacked in the face. If you're looking, by the way, for the biggest difference between the men's and women's World Cup, it's basically that.
That they don't take falls in the women's
They are-
soccer?
Way more physical.
Okay.
Good.
Way more physical.
I'm gonna
That sounds
screen
better.
share right now.
All right, dude.
It's better to live up to the hype.
OP better deliver.
I mean, I see Scott.
And got to click on Eric, I guess.
Oh, there it
Beat
is.
Germany, then Japan. That sounds familiar.
Oh.
America.
I saw that and just it was
Then that was
well
a good one I
timed.
thought, too.
It was a good day to post that. It was 4th of July.
Did you watch the Germany game?
Oh, wait, I forgot another one. Here, screen sharing this one. This one might be better. This has nothing to do with that, but it's another good meme. Here, This was.
I hate you so much. I read it every morning. I've seen everything.
this one.
What does it say?
Yeah, it's the,
Oh, from freaking Brian Danley, no less.
Two-time World War champions.
Loved it. Oh my god, that killed me. Yeah, sorry I don't Reddit, guys. I'm apparently a loser for not doing that.
Yeah, how do you not read it, by the way?
Those
But
are
I
worth
just
wait-
don't.
expected
I
of
Facebook.
time.
I get all
I
that
don't
news.
Reddit.
How upset were you guys whenever Reddit became terrible last week?
Wasn't. Didn't even notice.
Man,
I don't really Reddit.
you must
Time
actually
out.
work.
Does
You must actually
Scott
work your
have
jobs.
an entire, like, picture of gin and tonic mixed? Is that what I just saw there?
No.
It was like a gallon.
That looks an awful lot like the picture that I've got. That looks an awful lot like the picture that I have in my kitchen marked gin scratched out and wrote vodka underneath.
No, dude. So if you guys don't do this, keep a freaking gallon of water by your desk at all times. You're wrong. Like, how else do you stay? Yeah.
Water.
Water.
How else do you stay hydrated? I mean,
Get out.
Apparently
go to my-
it's by drinking gin all day.
Has anyone have developed any kind of opinion on the situation in Greece or the market fall in China or any of the ISIS situation going on in the Middle East? Other than Adam, go.
Other than America?
Is it the market fall in China just them going back to what they were like 3 months ago? Just like a stabilization sort of thing?
Surprisingly astute observation from the young one. Do you read news, or is it
He's
just because you work in the
obviously
Capitol?
taking a poli-sci class right now.
I've read
I
some top
forgot
threads
to
on
read the
Reddit.
news this week, so I'm still on last week's news.
I am quite legitimately the least informed about the entire world, so I'm just going to say Merca, and we blew stuff up, so things are going well.
So we're doing okay.
So, you need to learn the news.
I agree.
I actually planned on this being way more hilarious because I was talking to Adam earlier today, and I was like, he and I will discuss this stuff sometimes. You know, we were talking about Greece and what's going on there. We could talk about the political, socioeconomic impacts, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what, Adam? I'm planning on asking this to every single person here, other than you, and guaranteed they're all gonna be like, I don't
Who
news.
looks like an ass?
Hey,
Wow.
I know we're not in war right now. That's important because I signed a draft card at some point in my life. That's where I'm at.
Here's what really happened: is that Circa became non-existent. So
It
I
was the
started reading
no. Ben, you use Circa too? That was like the saddest news.
I did.
It's the saddest news I've encountered in the last like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I say that jokingly. The ISIS shit really kills me, especially the dude breaking into France, beheading a person, putting their head on a stake outside of a chemical plant. That's
That
pretty
happens
rough.
every day at Verizon.
That's dark.
Jeez.
All I picture is that
Benefits for that shit?
Lonely Island song, Like a Boss. It's like, I do that every day.
Did you just say you cut off your own dick?
Down. Wait, no, nah, man, that ain't.
No, it's not me.
All I know is I need a fan down here in a bad way. I'm like
pretty
starting
warm.
to sweat from the.
You don't have one
Obviously.
behind you?
No, I don't. I'm down in the basement, and usually
So-
I don't need it because I can be like basically naked. But
Along the lines of Circa, though, by the way, if anyone has a really good news app, definitely give me the 411. I am in the market of trying to find something to replace Circa, which was by far the best way to get your news.
have you ever heard of Fox News?
Oh dear God. Here's a story. When I was flying back from Alaska, I flew through Houston, and it was the George W. Bush Airport, and they had a legitimate Fox News, the store, in the freaking airport.
What?
Die, and I was
Yes.
Use the store. So you mean
I
die.
need to tell my coworker about that. He's a big Fox News guy.
Did you take pictures with it?
No! Dear God, why would I do that? I walked.
So, I actually have been
Ben
watching...
can't do that kind of stuff. He's got the hippie hair.
I
He's
don't want to gloss
not
over
welcome
this
there.
store thing. So could you buy a black person like to blame all your problems on? What about a poor person?
You know what, Adam? You're saying all of that, but you got to back off on Fox News. I've actually been watching quite a bit of Fox News recently, really getting into it, because I've been considering a career change into supervillainy. And it's getting me there.
Well, only question: how are the benefits?
Yeah, right.
The poor people are just fucking everything up. Yeah.
It's probably poor people.
They're just leeches on society, just wanting handouts. They're a culture of
Yeah, Josh.
opportunism, and they just...
Yeah, Josh.
I have a higher net worth than Scott does.
Hey,
I'm willing to
funny-
bet that you don't have a higher net worth than Scott because you don't have a job.
Yes,
I
do.
also have
I'm
school
working
debt.
right now.
He has infinity more net worth than
Right?
I do, because I went to Jewel, and he isn't getting debt in his college. Therefore,
I'm
his
getting-
net worth is higher. Yep,
Yeah, getting paid.
that's a stat. That's a stat. Also funny, Josh is about to be a college graduate. Me, Ben, and Adam are all college graduate. Eric is the one that did not finish college, and he's the one making the most money out of all of us.
Did you really?
I know I
That's a
was.
story.
I may not be now. Hard to say. Here's
From
another
Brett.
problem: is that I don't like since we haven't figured out this video thing yet. Like I'm looking even further down because I'm looking at the very bottom of like the list of all of the photos down there. Like
Can
I'm
you not
looking at
move
myself. I guess like if I move like the whole screen, like if I like shrink everything down and move it way up here, I guess I can do that. But now
Just press F11, full screen the whole bitch.
But I
You've
can't.
been recording.
I'm looking at the stuff at the bottom right, and it's really.
Yeah,
screwing
so we can see all of us.
So you should just have it automatically popping up whoever's face it is, unless you know you're about
I
to
do.
talk, then throw yourself up, and that's all.
But he wants to
do,
see
but-
everyone's reactions.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't care about you talking. I want to
Oh
see.
yeah,
what's
is there a
in-
way to do that?
Yeah, that's the problem. But I just
Yeah, well,
moved it up. I think I'm okay now. I think I'm okay.
We'll get it figured out. So that's the world events. I don't know about any of you guys. I'm really ready for football season to freaking start.
Food.
I'm starting to gear up for fantasy. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm actually. It's gonna be bad because a couple of months back I was doing the poker thing. Well, I've kind of stopped doing that just because I don't like spending time in casinos. Like I still think it's profitable, but don't want to do it. I know I'm good at fantasy stuff, and there's this thing called DraftKings now, and I am going to abuse it and probably use money on it and hopefully make money on it. And yeah, So
Sounds
that's
like a
gonna
bad
happen.
plan.
I mean,
Manday.
I am confident that I'm going to do well in it, but I'm not sure because, like, from what I've heard and talking to like the pro gamblers that are that I do know, the weird part about it is everybody's good at fantasy football. Everybody's got a clue because everybody's done it forever. The money for it is in like fantasy hockey and shit that I don't know about. Like if you educate yourself in fantasy hockey, the people who are playing fantasy hockey are just like, I'm going to play fantasy hockey. They have no clue. But if you actually like get good at it, then you just kill.
Right.
Or like fantasy golf, stuff like
That tracks.
that. You
That
know.
tracks.
So people have a clue in fantasy football. They don't have a clue in the other stuff.
So we all need to get in, by the way, on a fantasy league this year. Play together. That would be sweet. I've never played with more than like one of you at a time, so just mark that on your calendars. Early August, we're gonna get into a draft and do it. Maybe we could all go to like freaking Springfield or Kansas City or something and do a live draft. That would be fun as hell.
It'd be awkward. We need one more. We really do.
Yeah.
So we don't have.
Well, we need a few more. Let's be real. But
Yeah, but you could do a 6-person league, or I guess we could do the 5 of us and do rotisserie. I mean, I don't know.
oh, that would be fun. Each have two.
It's
I
awkward.
could probably get at least one more person from Springfield in on this if
Yep.
it's a real possibility.
So everyone start working on it. I think I've got somebody up in Kansas City I could get there too. So
Yeah. I've got people that would love to do it if there was money involved, but
I mean, I could pony up a little. I mean, it's not going to be big cash, but
that's the problem is that like,
$1.
everybody that I've got is like super elitist about it, and they just don't believe that anybody will try if there's not money involved. So.
whatever. Hey Ben, nice wallet.
Business cards.
You can pay us in business cards, yes.
This one, look at it. It's in Japanese.
So blurry.
Your camera cannot autofocus that close.
Wait, you have multilingual
There you go.
business cards? I just have to write my name on my pants and show them.
No, that was from a guy who works on giant Japanese salamanders that came to a conference I went to recently and totally said if I ever got over to Japan, he'd show me around, but that's expensive.
So
Show you.
basically, if you ever end up in Japan, you just show people that card until you end up with the right guy.
Yeah.
Just please help.
Help out, please.
Hito wa doko desu ka?
You guys laugh. That's how it totally worked in China, by the way. I had a card of where I lived, and when I needed to go home, I would wave my arms, the car would pull up, and I would show them the card. Swear to God,
And they'd
that's
be
how I got home.
I'm not a taxi.
Doesn't matter.
Take you
I'd be
home.
like, Arkwai, here. They'd be like, yeah, get the fuck in, whatever. He's American. They're like, hey, he's white. He's not gonna kill me. He's probably rich. Like, they were pretty racist. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so our topic today was going to be tablets, smartphones, smart devices, shit like that, right?
Dar.
So we'll just lead off how the whole flow, because it all kind of ended up cascading on each other. We didn't mean to do it all as one thing, but we did, and I think it's going to be sweet. So basically, we were thinking about topics we were going to talk about today. I got jacked because I went and bought a Nexus 9. Boom.
Product placement. Getting paid.
Dude, I am
Are you
all
allowed
about
to-
the Nexus 9.
Get
Are you allowed
money?
to do that? Is that a thing?
Yeah? Why not?
Like copyright infringement or something like that?
You know, you might want to alter it and say like Flexus or something until.
Yeah, this
I
is
got the Flexus 9. So I went and got this, but the reason I got the Nexus, obviously, I love my Nexus 5. It's the phone I've had. I actually had another, so I've got 3 just sitting in my lap right now.
What?
Regardless, yeah, dude. Well, the other one
No,
I actually.
continue. I'm wanting way other things.
Okay, so fuck off. I thought you were interested in what I was saying. Glad to know you're paying attention, asshole.
I'm
So my
researching
question
your
is-
tablet. Sorry.
So the question is, now that I've got this tablet, I'm super excited about having it. I envision the usage of it, and the reason I got it and spent good money on it is to play games while I'm taking a shit.
right?
That is like the primary purpose of a tablet, isn't it? Am I wrong?
Basically, like
Well, it's playing games and doing other things while you're taking the kid. It's
So it doesn't have to be games, but it's definitely the preferred usage places while taking a shit.
yeah.
pretty much.
Okay.
The
I'm
only
also-
usage place.
It's so that you don't look like a degenerate taking your laptop in to take a kid.
But for some reason, this giant phone is better. By the way,
It's real.
I want to walk to work one day with it up to the phone. Hey, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Straight up, people will believe you. I kid you not. Like, I have people walk up to full-size 12-inch tablets and be like, "Is that a phone?" And I'm just like, I don't
Yes.
I don't
Yes, it
know
is.
what to tell you.
For anyone that doesn't know, Eric actually works selling cell phones and tablets and stuff at a Verizon store, or did until very recently. Now he greets people who come in to buy cell phones and tablets and shit at a Verizon store.
I still have to talk to them about stuff, though.
That's awesome. Well, what Eric actually probably knows more than most of the people that are trying to hawk those phones, though. So.
Eric, look what I got for my G3.
Oh, you got
It's
the,
shiny.
is that the wireless charging one or just the?
Sure is.
Yar. That's what's up.
Oh, that's sick. Show me that again. What?
I gotta click on this.
Is that a case? Oh, I thought it was a. Oh,
It's a case. Yeah, it's like one of the folio cases.
That's pretty cool.
And then
Fancy.
it makes it wireless charge.
All right, so does anyone else here just refuse on principle to get a case, or am I the only one? Like, I don't ever put my phone in a sleeve or a case or anything protective like that. I don't like the way that it ruins the profile. It makes it too thick and grippy in the wrong way. Am I the only one? Am I weird?
I do
I
not.
totally get that. I totally get that. I also don't like it when my phone breaks.
Yep, that right there. This man knows what he's talking about.
So the answer is yes. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. We do not like to live dangerously.
Well, and like the thing is, I think maybe you should revisit the phone case thing because, like, yeah, 5 years ago, if you got an OtterBox, it like tripled the size of your phone. It's not the case now. They've evolved a little bit. Like if you put, like, I don't know about your silly Nexus 5 that is 5 years old, but like
Not even two, but yeah.
it's
basically a dinosaur in cell phone age.
Exactly. Like if you get a
iPhone 4.
if you get
Oh, I got
like,
I got one of those too.
life proofs are literally just like a bumper and that's it. Like they add very little. They add almost no weight, and like size-wise, it's not much.
So then, do they add any kind of protection then? If it's almost nothing, I mean, you would think that
they're waterproof, if nothing else.
that's
Yeah.
pretty sweet. I'm not in the habit of dropping my phone in the toilets, though.
Yeah,
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
because you have the
Nobody is
tablet now.
Nobody is until they drop their phone in the toilet, and then they're like, "Oh my god,
That's-
what do you mean I don't have insurance? Oh my god."
That's true. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Why?
I take a calculated risk. I do this on purpose. Like, you know, I go completely contractless on all my cell phone plans. I buy my phones cash, straight up. I'm not leased or anything. And I go without a case. And my thinking is, I am saving money in general over the course of a contract. I'm willing to take the risk of having to just replace the phone on my own wallet versus having to chug around a little bit of extra grip and a little bit of extra weight and width and stuff on my phone.
Well, and the other thing too is like, how much is your phone?
This one's $350.
So $350. Let's pretend you spend like average as an OtterBox like $50. So like you're out $250 if you screw up. Whereas most people are buying Galaxies and they're $650.
Right.
So they're out $6.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So you're in a little bit different spot.
That is
because
true.
Your Nexus
And
phones.
the operative reason I went with the Nexuses in the first place, like the stock Android and the half price for the same specs, so there's that. Basically, though, does anyone else have a tablet? Like,
Yup.
do you use it for anything? Am I
Oh,
the only
yeah.
one?
I have an iPad.
Okay.
Me too.
I have an iPad, and I am not an Apple person. Wife kind of mandated that and said she wanted the Apple because of apps for the baby. And baby uses it. I use it for Clash of Clans. I'm going to start using it for my classes a little bit. But also, when I bought it like 3 years ago, it was kind of in a spot where Apple was still way ahead in the tablet market.
Yeah.
They just were. It's closer now, but at that point in time, Apple was just.
Yeah, like a year and a half, 2-3 years ago, they were smoking everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, Adam, you have one, and you use it more than any of us.
I got mine in 2011, and that kind of sort of underscores kind of the appeal of Apple computers in general. Is the idea of having a thing and just being like, So for 6 years, I don't have to worry about this, right? Cool. Now, granted, because it's an Apple, you can't do as much stuff on it. But yeah, like I use it to read. I use it to surf. I used it to play KOTOR when that got released onto the App Store.
You know, I've never been like.
That's an Apple gong right there. I hate Apple gong. I'm gonna come back.
Is
to
there an
something
Apple
in a
gong?
minute.
Is that a thing?
That basically was. Scott, how long do you expect your PC to last? More than
Literally
6
first
years?
thing I put on my tablet, by the way, Adam. Right there.
I probably need to do that. I didn't know that existed.
It's fucking
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. It like the I imagine the interface is probably similar to all the tablet.
Say what?
Hey, Ben, can you turn your mic down a little bit? You're echoing a lot now.
My what?
Your mic is like echoing.
Yeah, we're getting feedback, dude.
Yeah.
And hold on.
All right, continue.
Did it get any better?
Nope.
Hold on.
I heard no.
So many notes.
Ben's just ruining everything.
Terrible.
Oh, Ben's
All right,
gone.
what were you saying?
My thing was, my question was, Scott, how long do you expect your PC to last?
Okay, that's a different question.
I know.
So there's two questions right there. There's the question you asked and the question you meant. Okay, the question you asked was how long do you expect your PC to last? Probably 5 to 6 years. How long until I plan to replace it? 3 years.
Right.
I plan.
That is
and
for
budget
different
on
reasons.
completely replacing it in 3 years. Yeah.
And your reasoning for completely replacing it is something that Adam would never have a reason to replace anything.
Right.
So that's my Apple's a bunch of bullshit and they don't have anything on anybody. Rant. Continue.
Okay, I don't understand. So are you saying then that you
Well, I'm
think that
saying,
Apple
like,
is
Adam-
bullshit?
What I'm saying
Or
is
you're
Adam
defending
was
Apple.
like, I'm saying that Adam was like, oh, this is going to work for 6 years and I don't have to worry about it. Like, that's the case with literally everything. You just,
Right.
Are you
everybody
kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Nope.
I've never had a laptop last more than 4.5 years. This is laptop number 3.
I don't know, when did I rebuild my PC?
There's
I
a
rebuilt
difference
my
between
PC.
laptops and desktops.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Oh, fair point.
But,
There's a difference.
I withdraw my objection.
yeah. But, because, like,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, Eric. I don't know that because there are a lot of Apples that last a long time, but I've also got a dude in my office that has an HP from, get this, 99
Woo.
that he's using.
Whoa!
Well,
Can he get fired just for that? Like,
like, I'm trying to think, like, my computer.
He's like, my computer's really slow sometimes. It's working really good. And then we installed, what was it? He goes, Windows 7 or XP or something, and it just crashed it. It couldn't, like, everything just went bad. I'm like,
So-
okay, well, what's your computer? And he goes, oh, it's an HP. I'm like, okay, HP has made some pretty good stuff, especially stock out of the box. They're one of the better options. And he's like, yeah, it's like, I haven't replaced it in a while. It's like, cool, when? Like, I don't know, 2099? I'm like, what?
Does
Thing
that
is still working.
Does that have a hard drive? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, my computer. I mean, obviously, I redid everything, like, 4 years ago. But, like, the only piece I've had to replace since then was my power supply that I'd had since I was living with Chad. So that was, like, freaking 8 years. You know? So, I don't know. Apple
So,
gets
Adam-
this, like, huge stigma, and I hate it. They're like, oh,
Okay.
Apple does everything better.
Oh no, I think I agree with you in terms of especially the lastability of desktops in general. I think you can basically run them until you turn them on and they catch on fire. And sometimes a laptop will last 4 years, but I had 2 die on me that I could basically set a clock to.
Yeah. Well, so what else do you use your tablet for then? Like, do you think that it is something that is useful in your life that you would be sad if it went away, or is it just kind of a luxury good for you right now? Is it like an integral part?
I would be legitimately sad.
Okay.
In large part just because it's a pain in the neck to have to read fairly lengthy things on a computer, on a laptop or desktop screen.
Okay.
And so, but other than that, it's basically just kind of like it's a thing that I got as something. It's like, oh, here's something nice for doing something cool. I got it in lieu of anything else in lieu of any kind of like graduation gift present.
Okay.
Anything for a master's degree.
And I will also say, I'll say this. I bet with Adam, like, part of the reason that he gets so much out of his tablet, would you say you use an iPhone 4S, right?
No, iPhone 4.
iPhone
4,
yeah.
that's what I'm talking
you're
about.
like, you've got such a big gap there. Like,
I wasn't going to pay
what are you going to do on your phone? Like,
are you kidding me?
Can you see your phone? Like,
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, Eric. I agree wholeheartedly. The reason I have an iPhone is because it was the best phone that I didn't have to pay anything for.
Right.
Like, because phones after 3 years, they're like, what
Yeah.
why haven't you done anything? Why haven't you replaced it?
That is true. I'm planning on replacing all my phones on a 2-year cycle, and that's kind of sad when you think about it. That's incredibly accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
So
Welcome back, Ben.
So we've got 2 people that do not have tablets then. We've got Josh and Ben. Are you guys planning on getting one? Why not?
I don't plan on getting one because I don't really feel it's necessary because I have my laptop for things I would need that for
Okay.
other than pooping. But once my laptop died, I could totally see myself getting one.
Can you guys hear my microphone?
Yeah, it sounds gorgeous. It's buttery,
Excellent.
silky smooth, if you would.
I probably won't get a tablet because I have a laptop. Again, kind of the same reason for me. The functionality would be kind of the same on those. After getting married, you kind of don't have the stigma against taking your laptop in to poop with you. And also, it helps when you have the last generation, like, best-in-class smartphone. So, it's like, I can get around it that way. I really do kind of want a tablet, just often some weird part of my brain for 2 reasons. One is I want to like read scientific literature on them.
Okay. Adam's reason, yeah.
But the paper, it's not the same as like reading it on a Kindle, like one of the Paperwhites. They just don't have the technology yet, I think, to where I can download a PDF and have it like seamlessly transition into something I can read easily.
I want that so bad, by the way, that Paperwhite tech. Oh, I want that so bad.
So what I'll say too.
Tomorrow I could make it work.
Hey, let's let Ben finish the second point,
Go
dude.
ahead.
Oh, and then the other reason is for mobile gaming that I don't have to like cram my stinking fingers around for, and it's. But then again, I don't really play that many other games.
Sure.
You're a WoW and WoW only dude. Are you sure this wouldn't sway you?
I can get that on my phone, and let me bring up a really quick side tangent here. Those of you that own an Android phone that are not currently enrolled in the Google Opinion rewards,
Oh, nice. I've been thinking of doing that.
that's how much for those of you that can't see and or are
accumulated over 8 years.
listening. No, that's been about in the past 3 months, 4
That's-
months maybe.
Oh, that's
That's
not
awesome.
bad.
Still not bad, yeah. I mean,
So
that's an
I
app a
could
month.
legitimately just straight up buy KOTOR for spending 5 to 10 seconds every couple days just saying, yes, I have been to this store recently, and I drove there, the end. Here's 10 cents.
This game is much
Like,
easier to play on
okay.
tablet, Ben. I'm going to tell you that right now.
For sure.
Nerds.
Yeah, I can second that.
Is the guy that I referred to
Adam,
as
you know.
Skippy really
Oh,
going to
yeah.
say nerds?
I met you like 4 times in real life, Eric. It's not my fault you can't use my real name.
It's your fault that I literally have met you infinitely more in the game of WoW than anything else.
I'm just impressed that you're not getting his voice mixed up with mine.
Oh,
I mean, good for you.
I've got you guys like dialed in. I don't understand where people say you sound alike.
It's not
Like you
really you two. It was someone
It's not
else,
really
Scott.
voice. Blue shirt, white shirt.
I had a white shirt on. I changed because I didn't want to be wearing a white shirt.
See, I don't
Thank
know.
you.
I don't have
problem.
I don't have the problem at all with the voice thing that everybody else does. I don't know.
We get it all the time, and surprisingly, people when I give my name over a phone, people are like, "Did you say
Hey,
Josh?"
Adam.
Yes.
Adam Knight.
I miss you too.
This a nerd contest.
No, this is something that Adam passed down to me.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Knight.
Uh-oh.
What is going
Another
on? What
What
did I
is
miss?
Magic. Magic
Oh,
the
yeah.
Gathering is what just happened. Adam tried to call us out on being nerds for playing Magic on our phone, and then we pulled out the Magic
come on,
tackle
man.
boxes he gave us.
Seconded it. I said yes. It's much easier on a tablet.
Oh, so just Josh got his thing. Okay.
Only Josh.
Just
Only
Josh.
Josh.
Okay,
who is a
okay,
nerd.
okay. All right.
I played that game more than I'm
All
proud
right,
of.
so Ben, I thought you had a really interesting topic that you posed for us. When
Oh,
we
yeah.
were talking about the phones and the tablets and kind of what we're using them for. You said apps.
Apps,
How
yeah.
have they shaped our culture? Like,
Yeah, this is
what do you
something.
mean? Hit me.
This is
Like,
something
that sounds
I've-
really awesome.
I've kind of had a profound revelation on, and Eric will probably be right up front there with me, but it seems... Well, okay, I'll tell this kind of in a story and how I came to my own kind of recognition of this. And so around town, a lot of the like fast food restaurants and stuff, okay, like McDonald's, Wendy's, Subway, are all like completely gutting the inside and redoing it in kind of like a I didn't have like a word for the new style,
Right.
like postmodern. I don't know what the
Postmodern, minimalistic kind of.
yeah, minimalistic, very straight lines, flat colors, but still like flowing kind of
They're kind of clean.
textures. Yeah,
We've been
real
there, yeah.
real clean. And I saw this at this restaurant and this restaurant, and then I saw it on signs, and I saw it in commercials, and I saw it in like everywhere I went. I'm like, holy crap! I have just like cognizantly realized we have this shift in like architecture and like how we view like what we as society view as like attractive, right? And one day I was on my phone and going through the apps, and I realized that's how all the apps are, and all the apps have kind of always been. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The App Store, this the way people view these apps. Apps are new. Apps are because they're on smartphones. They are something that's like at the front of technology. They're the cool. They're the hip things. And so the way that we're seeing these apps is what we're desiring from other aspects of our life. We want everything to be kind of new and shiny and clean cut, but still like less cluttered, but still sophisticated, and so we're seeing, I think, the way people have designed apps for smartphones spread out to other aspects of life. And that's just on the kind of design aspect. I think there's been studies that have shown a lot of stuff about attention spans and critical thinking that have been linked to kind of the rise of apps on smartphones. But that's what I meant. And I think a real clean way to see this is my last kind of point, is go find a McDonald's that you know has not been updated, or something from like 15, 20 years ago, and go find one that is new, and just look at the signs. One is very stylized, very like three-dimensional, kind of in the old style, like, hey, this is impressive that we can do this kind of detail and texture in our logo, versus today's where it's just like a very clean cut. It's like two colors, but the lines are all flat, and it just says, McDonald's, no shadowing, no anything. So there's my piece. Thoughts?
So you're saying current web designers are the modern day architects, if they're directly influencing.
I'm saying I think they are responsible for a lot of the modern stylization that has crept into architecture and everyday life.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of that probably has to do with marketing, right? Obviously, like, you want to go where the money is, and generally they tend to aim, especially stuff like walk-in stores and fast food stuff, toward younger audiences. So with that in mind, the younger audiences have had more exposure to those apps and stuff. So I'd like to break this over to our youngest member, the only person here who probably doesn't remember phones that weren't smart. What is your take on that? Do you remember when shit wasn't clean, flat, intelligent, could think for you?
Phones were dumb.
I don't understand. I need something to think for me. Will my phone tell me the answer to this question? Okay, Google.
So, do you remember back when McDonald's were different, Josh?
Yeah, before they are what they are now. Yeah, I remember that. And I agree with Ben. Like, it looks like you could take the McDonald's logo now and just have it be one of the apps sitting on my phone. It would look exactly the same.
And would you prefer that over a nice Italian restaurant that had ivy growing on a brick wall and a hand-painted, picture of a blonde lady?
Assuming they both served the same quality of food.
Yeah, that's the Italian place.
What kind of
I'm just going stylistically.
Serves McDoubles.
No, this is an honest-to-God question. So we're all part of the same generation, right? Josh is only 7 years younger than us, but that 7 years was a really
7 years. So.
But 7 years, while it's so short, we're still part of the same generation. There is a really big turning point.
Josh, have you ever heard of
for when that stuff happened?
I like the smoothness. I got to be honest. The smoothness is great. The simple, smooth, sleek, whatever. That's the way I like it. So I'm used to.
So, and I don't know. I think that kind of tapers into like the way I interpreted the question. Like, it's an ease of use thing. Like, think about some of the stupid stuff that's out there that this phone can do. Like, I went to a fireworks stand and I bought fireworks with a credit card. That wasn't a thing 10 years ago. Like, you brought cash and that's all you had. The dude pulled his phone out, plugged a square reader in, I swiped my card, game over. I was pissed off at a golf course the other day because they didn't have yardage markers. I don't know why I was pissed off, because I have a phone that GPSes me probably more accurately than my eyeballs to this stupid yardage marker. But that's something that 10 years ago you'd have just been like, you would have had to have gone and bought a like a rangefinder. I just had a phone and I was like, download app while I'm in a fairway. Like I was in the fairway, downloaded the app, and before it had really even slowed down our play, I figured out how far it was from the front of the green and the back of the green. Like stupid stuff like that we shouldn't be able to do every day is what we've become used to with these, and is why we have these. And so now we're at the point where if I go to a Burger King, it's not enough for me to for them to be like, what do you want to drink? It's, do you want a drink? Yes. Okay, go push buttons until you get the flavored drink that you want.
Those machines are crazy, by the way. The ones that have 8 million different things.
I love them though.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great.
Okay,
So-
guys, I'm sharing my screen right now. This is kind of what I meant. Like, here's an old McDonald's logo, or even this one. This one was really popular for a while, opposed to now.
Yep.
Right? Well, think about pull up McDonald's. See if you can pull up a menu. It went from flashy.
And go even
Here's
more.
our dollar menu to it used to have pictures of freaking everything. Now it doesn't even there's 3 pictures on an entire McDonald's menu now. It's just super clean. Here's your.
Do you still know what to order, or?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying the difference.
I think there's more pictures now than there were. You got a picture next to every single item. There's fewer items. There's not.
No, there's no pictures on the dollar menu. Is what he's saying.
Yeah, things
dollar.
you just see pictures of their combos, but the other flash, you don't see a picture of a Happy Meal over there. You don't need to know what a Happy Meal is. It just tells you here's your Happy Meals, and things like that. I don't know, and the way that things are laid out is just very much more like a clean cut. Here's your options. Here's the price. That's it. And I think that also you talk about Josh's generation and our generation, we demand that. We don't want to know all the stupid BS around everything. I want to know numbers. I want to know straight, strict, what's the bottom line of all this. So that's why you see here's a McChicken. It's 260 billion calories, and here's your cost.
And it's
99
89
cents.
You will die.
That's all that they've got on their crap now, and it's they, I don't know, just it's neat, and I agree that the people, as far as the design aspect of it, just people are the same people that are web developers there, the same minds that are putting together the advertisements for other stuff. But as far as how everything functions, you think about how McDonald's used to function. How'd you go through a drive-through? There was one line, and then you paid, and then you got your food, and you left. The McDonald's by where I work, there's 2 lines. They take my money before I ever actually get to the second window, and they run it back inside and hand it to me on my way back through so that I can keep moving this whole time. And then, I don't ever pull up to the window. They just got people running food outside because they know that the window's not enough. It's not they can't. If I stop at the window, then that's slowing them down. Basically.
Wow.
It's how
You might leave-
efficient crap's
might
getting.
leave without- Yeah.
What's that, Adam?
You might leave. If you have to stop, you might be like, I forgot why I'm here. Brrrr.
Right? So the touch of a button, it needs to be right there and it needs to be right now, is a thing that I think we've gotten from the phones. I think Louis C.K. does a really good comedy skit on cell phones and stuff.
That was awesome. Yep.
Because it's just no one ever is oh, look at my amazing phone and the stuff that it does. Everybody's oh, I fucking hate my phone. It's because it was weird for a second.
There's actually been studies that have shown that the smartphone generation, right, has shorter attention spans because it's all stinking instant gratification. They don't know the answer to something, they get it, they move on. They don't actually have to spend time thinking about it, and those attention spans are shorter, shorter. They're always getting ads mixed in with YouTube or anything like that. So the attention is constantly shifting, and they have trouble focusing, and that's
I don't doubt it.
quantifiable.
I mean, like when I'm like trying to sell like tablets or smartphones to old people and stuff, like you can tell that they just like they can't even think about the amount of stuff that this could do for them. And I'm like trying to put it into words, and they're just like, why would I even want to do that? And I'm just like, I don't like. Why do I?
You
wanna
can
do
check
that?
the Farmer's Almanac on your phone.
Like,
So Ben brings up a lot of good points about how this actually does affect psychology and culture, which I think is the most interesting part of this whole deal. Adam actually works more closely with that type of in that sphere more than any of us, because he actually works political science, works with the way people tick, the way people operate, and generational differences actually matter somewhat to what you do in the political world, right, Adam? So, like, what effect do you foresee from that?
Well, first off, back to something that Eric had said. If I had a nickel for every time I heard the phrase, so Louis C.K. had this really funny bit about contact.
Right.
Right?
He's amazing.
He's really good. But if the most concrete evidence that I can find in terms of like things that have
Eric just go to the bathroom.
Yep, that was a toilet flush, folks. That was a toilet. Very loud, interrupting Adam. Eric's asshole is an asshole. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh god. Okay. Just totally act like nothing ever happened when it comes back.
All right, Adam, go ahead.
He still has his headset on.
Yeah, he does have a wireless set.
Oh my god. Eric, really?
God damn it.
You took us in there with you.
I had it muted. I had my boom
So the
up.
biggest difference that I've... Oh, go ahead.
I had my boom up. I don't know what the problem is. It should have been muted. I can't help it if my equipment's defective.
Force, you so rudely interrupted with us with your bowel movements. Hey,
I
that
also-
plastic. Hey, prove to
also
us that's
switched.
plastic. Bonk it against your head.
Well, this is I switched it up, but yes, they're both
Yeah, that's
plastic.
Margaret.
That is not bonking against your head. Bonking against your head.
Can you
International
compress
symbol.
glass?
Bonk it against your head.
Maybe
Whatever.
if you're
That's soda.
superhuman.
There we go.
Here we go.
Well, even if I was superhuman, it would like break.
What if your power was to bonk glass, huh? What if that was your superpower?
I would be the worst superhero in the history of superheroes.
I don't know.
Adam. Okay, so Adam was so sagely giving his insight.
Yeah, until you guys decided to pretend that the toilet flushed. God.
Okay, Adam. You've got the floor, buddy.
So the political psychology, most of the political psychology that I've kind of worked with hasn't been so much to do with like what's so special about millennials. Most of it's like how ideological entrepreneurs are able to kind of sell themselves to people who, if they were rational, they wouldn't buy into X, Y, and Z. Like it's a really big thing for like rebellions and revivals and things like that. But the one thing that I have noticed is we've talked a little bit about the shortening of attention spans. I think it's also kind of one of two things have happened. Either the amount of time that it takes before it is acceptable to reject the political views of the generation that came before is shorter, or the weight of those views that were held by those people who came before has dramatically decreased.
Makes sense.
And I think
do you think?
I think it's the latter. more than anything else. I think that one of the things, like we talk a lot about kind of the deleterious effects of the promulgation of app culture and things like that, and those are real, tangible, demonstrable negative effects. One of the good things.
Hold on, one moment. For anyone who wasn't following, deleterious is defined as causing harm or damage. Carry on.
Okay. Fair point. I'll stay away from the $5 words.
Yeah.
I was just nodding. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Josh,
Let's just use dollar menu words
Josh
here.
from Arkansas, they don't use them their words down there.
Scott's also from Arkansas.
Well, yeah. Scott went to Jewel. You're at community college.
Pulling that
fired.
out of the hat.
Now I
Shots
go to
fired.
community
Where's
college.
that at? That's not it. But
Okay.
Yeah, that was a letdown. That was a severe letdown. You're fired from sound.
I was.
editor.
Is this one?
There you go.
All right, so let's get back to Adam after Scott rudely explained to us what he was talking about.
I bet I dropped some sweet knowledge on you. Trying to
Okay.
keep you at me and Adam's level. God.
Okay, so one of the good things of all of this is you have the introduction of all of these different social media profiles that began kind of 25 years ago and kind of, well, actually more like 30 years ago, in more primitive forms, things like, I guess 25 years ago, things like an email address, where that became a Facebook page, or like a Zanga page, or things like that, and it's become something that is just like it's something that everyone has in some form or another. And I think that to a certain extent, one of the things that brings along with it is a certain amount of, even if you don't fully have the capacity to form opinion, at least intelligent ones, you have a platform to kind of talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very least, that means that kind of the weight of that which came before is a little bit diminished, which I think in general can kind of be helpful, especially if that which came before is, in a particular instance, kind of not as helpful. One good example is kind of the role of social media, for instance, in the Egyptian Revolution in 2011, and the subsequent ousting of Morsi. It was primarily driven by younger and young-ish kind of either people who are very, very young or very, very well. And this can be incredibly helpful in these particular cases, because the people who were older kind of relied upon the images that the images of, well, this is an authority figure who's been, in the case of Morsi, elected. This is something that should be respected, even though Morsi himself was kind of a piece of shit and needed to go. So I think the clearest example in the United States is kind of the quickness with which opinions have changed on gay marriage. In 2003, there was a poll in U.S. News and World Report stating that a not particularly large but significant majority of Americans were in favor of the passage of a constitutional amendment defining marriage as between a man and a woman. I think you might actually have a fairly good chance of passing a constitutional amendment to the opposite effect today, which is amazing.
It is amazing.
In the span of that was only 12 years ago, and in 2005, and you'll remember in 2005, a majority of people were against the legalization, if not for the enshrinement as a constitutional amendment. So that's as far as that's all I have to say on it.
Yes, I think that's amazing. So first of all, we talked about that before. Just even when you think about the idea of homosexuals being allowed to marry, think about when you were playing Halo in 2007 and someone got you good. What did you call them? Faggot. Faggot, you got me. That was the thing. And I say that now and all of us cringe. Think about how freaking quickly that happened. Like, oh, you're so gay. Like, and what's crazy is to think that we helped forward that agenda along because we all reached a point where we were like, dude, that's kind of like, chill out on that. You know, and once you stop doing that, it makes it a lot easier to accept, you know, what was going on.
We're all coming
like, think about that. That's like 7 years. That's all it took from us just throwing that around to they can get married now and everyone's like awesome with it. That's a big deal.
I don't know. The thing with like that word and all that stuff, you know, it's hard for me to compare because, and I mean probably for you too, a little bit, because I was in the middle of freaking Hickville growing up and when all that was going through, really. I mean, really even in college it wasn't, I don't know, I guess using the word gay wasn't a big deal. I don't remember, like...
What I'm saying is, it was in the middle of college when that happened. Like, I remember it was clearly the first 2 years of college, that's just what you did. Oh, that's so gay.
Yeah.
And by the end, and by the last year of college, it was already like, nah, dude. No.
I mean, and going back to what a little thing as far as like what Adam said, like talking about how the last generation holds less weight. The weird part of it that I think would be true is, like, no matter what, like, where our political stance is as a generation right now, I feel like your statement would be true regardless of what the beliefs of, like, because obviously previously everybody had, it seemed like it was either you were more left-wing or you were more right-wing, more divided. I feel like everybody's a little bit more... Like our generation is a little bit more like, hey, we're kind of good with everything. We're kind of like right in the middle of stuff. We're like I think like personally, like I'm cool with gay marriage. I don't like abortion. You know, like things like that. Like that wouldn't have been a thing 10 years ago. Like you needed to pick a side. Is kind of the way it was then.
So I think personally, based on you know what we've talked about,
like the way that I guess my history of that stuff.
I was just making an observation on how rapidly that happened, but based on what you were saying, Adam, I think that makes that there's a lot of traction there, in that you would expect that the quicker information can flow, the more quickly you can make a decision. Right? And so the quicker the flow of information, the quicker you can make a decision. The quicker you can make a decision, the quicker you expect someone to make a decision.
Quicker.
It's not just the quicker that you get the information. It's the ability to kind of produce information, then put information yourself out there. I'm seeing Ben nodding his head. I take it that was kind of what you were.
Yeah,
I don't step all over your point because you would raise your hand.
Yeah, which is important in a video conference.
Continue, Adam.
Okay. Well, one point I wanted to make because what Eric actually just said about kind of the moderating, like that's significant. It's not happening amongst politicians, and it's not really happening amongst voters. But I do think that there is a kind of...
Well, because we can.
As people grow up, people are kind of becoming a little bit more independent. They're kind of picking and choosing elements from different platforms. They're like, okay, this is the thing that I like X, Y, and Z, but I'm not so big on A, but I'm still kind of okay about B and C. Now, in terms of the electorate at large... dramatic polarization. The Democratic Party is basically homogenous. The Republican Party isn't homogenous because you have the kind of the mutant spawn of the Tea Party kind of pushing the Republican Party further to the right, but in general, you still have a kind of gap, at least in terms of politicians and voters, in the middle. Now, I agree with you that I think that there's a growing contingent of people, and actually, I think that if, for instance, if the Republican Party does particularly badly in 2016, I imagine a dramatic shift towards the median voter, the people.
A moderate, if you will.
Exactly.
Tell me
I
this.
imagine kind of cutting off of the far right wing element of the party and kind of a shift.
So do you think that because like you said, like the politicians are obviously very split, and then the voting is split. I'd say that the voting is split because the politicians are split. Like I don't have an option. I've got to vote on A or B, and if they're split, they're split. you know. So kind of like what you said, like going into like if what you said is true, and then like next election it ends up being more moderate, it would lead me to believe, based off like the opinions that I know of people, like all my friends, kind of with the exception of maybe one or two people that I even know, would fall in that middle ground. Like probably 80 to 90% of the people that I know, and I hate saying it this way because like people that are on the wings of things obviously have brains, but the people that are in the middle use their brain and they think about things and they're like, I can agree with this and disagree with this and it's okay, even though they're on opposite ends of the spectrum. You know.
So let's avoid committing podcast suicide by getting into a political discussion, gentlemen.
Sure.
What do y'all say? What do y'all say?
I will say this much. Now, I'm pretty confident in saying I'm probably further to the left than everybody in this conversation. That's not to say that I'm right, or that people who would identify with the right wing of the American political spectrum would be incorrect. It's just what I think. I understand why. I understand the kind of the appeal of being able to kind of recognize that someone who disagrees with you is still a person who still has the right to an opinion, all that good stuff. That's not a particularly high bar to get to, if that makes sense.
Right.
I get what you're saying, because political conversations so often become a kind of, you're stupid, no, you're stupid, why aren't you using your brain, no, why aren't you using your brain kind of thing. And while I will readily that people who are kind of caught in the middle are far more likely to, once they start to see a discussion kind of getting out of hand, kind of falling off the rails, to kind of be like, "Hey guys, come on." I think everybody, if they kind of take a minute to kind of like breathe, find their center, they can kind of do that as well, if that makes sense.
Finding your center is very democratic. Just saying.
So. Ben, you mentioned what kind of effect apps are having on our culture and us specifically. My thought, and we've discussed attention spans, how it might affect attention spans, how it affects the way that we wish to...
We talked about it, how we got to Democrat versus Republican in less than 15 minutes?
Yeah, god damn it. I'm trying to move us away. Like, shut the fuck up. Damn it. I am clearly segueing us into something not as boring.
There's
All
one
right.
more thing that
You're the one who invited the poli
maybe
sci guy,
contribute
okay?
to that. I read something recently about how the current generation is becoming less tech savvy, actually.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, see, I know.
Ben,
on the
I've read
same
some of
wavelength.
what I was saying is we've discovered. So here's what we've discussed: how attention spans are changing, how the desire for how we consume information is changing, and the our expectations of ideas change and intellectual thought. But along those same lines, it sounds like what this idea spawned from was some of the same studies I've read too that involved, because of the way apps are getting, and they're very, this is one thing, and it's very compartmentalized, and it accomplishes a very specific thing. People, and by people I mean people younger than us, like, and we are on the cusp. Like, it's really scary. If we were born Josh's age, we might be computer
Yeah, Josh,
stupid.
you idiot.
We might be computer stupid.
How you doing?
Because basically what they argue is, Ben, and correct me if I'm wrong, what they argue is because of the way apps are now, you have one thing and it just works. And it's smooth. It's silky smooth. You get on there, the thing works. It's pretty. You say, what is this? And it turns out the answer, and you have no idea what it did to get to that answer. What it's doing is causing a lot of the people who are our age and younger just to not respect the process, but also not even respecting the process, not understanding the process.
I mean,
Encountering people that just don't even know how to use Google. What combinations of words do you use to get the answer? And there are people that don't know anymore. Like, can you imagine that? Because people, like, when we were 8th grade, everyone was getting better every single year. The younger you were, the better you were going to be by the time you hit a certain age at that, because you had done it longer. And then we've now reached a point to where your understanding of the technology is not as important to get the desired result, and our competence with that said thing is now going down.
And
we're becoming more dependent on the interface and less on the how to make it work.
I mean, I think you've hit kind of at the heart of the issue there, that the current generation, and by that I mean younger
Josh.
people, don't really, not necessarily even Josh. Well, Josh.
It's
aside
probably
from
some of
everybody
Josh's
else.
contemporaries, but we'll ask him about that in a moment.
Yeah, for sure, because we haven't heard enough from Josh this
That's right.
podcast.
I've tried.
Um, I think the heart of the issue is, one, the attention span. And not necessarily just that, but that is definitely a factor, that they don't have to understand how the process works. If something went wrong in our computers, it took a long time for us to go get help to figure it out, to make it work, because that was all we had available.
Mm-hmm.
Two things are different about that today. We can get help almost instantly in a variety of forms. And the second one is, if it's about an app, it's not worth our time. We'll go get a different app if it doesn't immediately
Because
work.
that other app will work.
Yeah. We don't care enough to fix the problem. We don't care enough to understand why the problem occurred in the first place. If that was our fault, if that was their fault, we just assume it's theirs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. So it's like, I think that, and that's just kind of the heart of the issue.
And
People are getting less tech savvy because they don't care enough.
Here's my thing. I agree. I read those studies, and it's interesting. And what's also is going to be really funny is you're going to have those same people that are 40, 50 years old that are used to asking people in their early 20s tech questions, and you're going to reach a point to where those people no longer know, and it's going to ruin the.
We're getting, like, it's really weird. Like, it's kind of like,
Oh, man.
coming from, like, I answer questions about this crap all the time. And so, like, you get, like, such a weird mix of stuff where, like you said, like, we're on the cusp and we've got it kind of on lock, most of the stuff. Like, if we don't know something, we know where to find it. We know how to find it. So, like, we've got stuff like my mom just got an iPhone, and she asked me, like, what's a good photo collage app? Don't ask me that. Ask this ridiculous resource called Google that has everything, the whole world on it. Just type in, what's a good iPhone photo collage app, and it's there. And, like, I think that, like, there's some pros and cons to that like, concept, because, like, I'm also a firm believer that there's a lot of stuff, like, for instance, Adam, you're a teacher, and maybe whatever you teach is a bad example, but let's be real. The amount of school that you had to go through to learn the amount of stuff that you know that's aside from teaching is ridiculous. Like, you need to learn technique on teaching and a certain, like, base level of information. The rest of the information is there for you. It is there. If I need to know something, like right now, I haven't done math in forever, but I was a math major. If I wanted to relearn calculus, it would take me a couple of hours on Google. Basically. You know? Like, so, like, having all that information there, like, I'm going through this IT stuff, and I'm learning about the most ridiculous bullcrap ever. Like, this is what the port for a floppy drive looks like. If I ever run into that in my
What's
IT field, right? If I ever actually run into that, then I can probably figure it out just by being intelligent enough to find it. On the flip side, like, I completely agree with this whole concept that people are getting dumber. Dumber is a bad word. People are getting less resourceful because, like,
People are getting less tech savvy.
Yeah.
Yes, because, like,
the word
I get-
resource.
yeah, resourceful is a good word, I think, because, like,
Without
I get
like
the
that.
same questions from 60-year-old people as I do from, like, 15-year-old people. They come in and they're like, my Facebook isn't working. And then I uninstall Facebook and reinstall it and it works. And I'm like, guys, like, this is the very first thing I did. The very first, like, trouble, or, like, usually, actually, it's I power cycle the phone and it works. And I'm just like...
Or close the app.
Yeah, you
Close the app,
literally
open
drove to my store and waited for an hour to talk to somebody, and that's what I did to fix it.
Was turn the phone off and back on.
And you couldn't get there. And like I said, like, you're dead on as far as, like, it's old people and young people. It's nothing in the middle. Like, I don't see 28-year-old people coming in for troubleshooting stuff. And it's just without a doubt people over 40 and people under 20 right now. And it's ridiculous that it's...
That's under 20, Josh.
Yeah,
And so,
Josh
okay,
is fine.
So, no. So here's the thing.
I want to hear what Josh has to say
Josh,
about the issue.
yeah, so Josh grew up with me and with all of us, because he actually gamed with a lot of us, too, starting from a very young age.
Time out.
Eric's going to die.
You're saying that Josh grew up?
Yeah.
Wait, where is it?
Ah.
Got him.
Okay, no,
I thought
so
the dog got
Josh,
cricket.
so Josh has actually grown up knowing this stuff. So even if his peers, I am not making the assumption that his peers do, but even if his peers were those tech stupid people, I'm going to call them tech stupid. It's more fun to do that. Those tech stupid people, Josh should have the leg up. Josh knows what he's doing. He can work his way around a computer. I don't think you've built your first system yet, have you?
I put one together, and it didn't work.
Sorry.
Have you built your first system?
I put one together, and it didn't work because my brother gave me parts that were broken.
Eric remembered he had sound effects.
Yep, he did.
That actually wasn't me. Somebody else got that
So,
one.
all right. So, Josh, what is your perspective from that? Because we're sitting here talking about the people 7 to 10 years younger than us, and that's awful close.
Well, I just want to
You're
give you an
right.
example. And I know I think I've talked to you about this before, Scott. Is that I blew some of my classmates' minds whenever I put quotations around something in Google, and it it searches for that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Blew their mind. They had no idea. They thought they were like, "Oh my God, you know how to pull up anything in Google you'll ever need." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's the easiest thing in the world." They're like, yeah, if we ever need to know anything, we're just coming to you because we don't know how to do it. I'm like, put quotations around it.
No,
And they're like, I can't do that.
No, we're gonna come find you.
So
And they
you're
do.
saying that you already are seeing that in people your age that don't know, because that was basic syntax stuff. Because that's what you had to do back when you were rocking Ask Jeeves. You know.
Oh, jeez.
Scott, you say that, but there are people our age that don't know how to do that. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Yes, but I don't know anybody our age who can't
Who?
do most of what Google has offered.
Well,
They
okay,
did it
okay. Here's the thing, Ben. That's true. That is true. Those of us in this conversation right now are going to be on the high end of technology. Just in
That's
general.
right.
Those are things we're interested in. We're nerds. We're not sitting here benching tree fitty. You know.
Hey,
That's
not.
not. We don't go outside.
you get out of here, Scott.
Josh went outside earlier this morning.
And ran 4 fucking miles. I know. I've got 2 5Ks in 2 weeks. I ran one last Saturday and coming up this Saturday. I'm hoping to finish
Hey,
under
what?
36 minutes this time.
I
I've done
could probably
2
bench
5Ks this
3.
week.
Under 36? Really?
I finished just under 37 the last one, dude. It was almost a 12-minute mile I was averaging. It was bad. I went interval, and I went 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, just thinking that I'd be able to go a lot faster. But I ran too fast and speed walked too much early, and was so wiped out on the second half. It just ruined me. But I think I was on like an 8-minute pace for the first hour and a half. It was like first mile and a half. It was awesome.
First hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that I'm pretty close to benching 3, so get at me.
I know. No, but here's the thing, Ben. So while you're right, there are people our age who may not know about the quotations or the define, colon, insert a word, whatever.
Semicolon.
Time
I
out.
rest my
Time out.
case.
I have a real story to tell.
I
This
use
is
a
important.
colon. I use a full colon. I am talking, bitch!
Okay, go ahead. Go. But this is a really important story. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so who remembers Dr. Mathis?
What?
Who remembers Dr. Mathis at Jewel?
Oh. I was
He was
like,
a
my
math
advisor
teacher?
is Dr. Mathis.
No, he was at Jewel. He was my advisor. And literally, we go talk to our advisor, and, like, I'm a freshman in college, and his, like, we were supposed to be talking about what it was to be a math major, and literally we spent the whole time, like, he plugged his computer into the PA system that they had there in the classrooms at Jewel, and then he goes to dictionary.com and says, "Give me a word." And then he types in the word and then clicks play, and it plays over the intercom system. And he's like, "Isn't that neat?" Okay, so this is our mentor meeting. Like, he's supposed to be teaching us what it is to be a math major. So then we were talking.
What word did you pick?
I don't even
this
remember at this
crucial.
point, because this isn't even the end of the story.
Pugnacious.
But you got to remember, like, it's me in this, and you remember Carl Ziegler?
Yeah.
Okay, so Carl's fairly tech savvy, so me and him and a couple other math majors that obviously have a small amount of clue how to use a basic function on a laptop. And so then he's like, you know what would be cool is if I could play music on my computer. Like, that blanket of a statement. And we're like, you can. And then he's like, well, and we're like, yeah, you can. And he's like, well, I mean, like, play a CD. And we're like, yeah, you can play a CD. And then he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, you just put it in the DVD drive thing and it works. And he's like, what do you mean? And he had literally had this laptop for like 4 years and never even accidentally opened a CD drive. That's a thing that happened.
They come with those?
I accidentally open mine all the time. Like, I don't. How did he get away with that?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's my thing. Like, you'd think it'd be like, whoa, what is this thing? But we went over there, pushed the button. He was like, wow. And we were just like, it was awesome. Continue, Scott. That was really important. Something you said reminded me of that.
Fuck, I don't even remember.
It's such a good story.
I guess, Ben, while there's people, I think your wife is trying to get your attention, dude.
Nah, she's not important. It's Manday.
She's over there making hand signs behind your head. So, Ben, while there are people that may not know those basic syntax stuff in Google, I guess none of them are going to come to you and say, "I'm going to ask you to do all the research for me from now on."
Oh yeah. I think that's probably an accurate statement though.
Josh, do you see any consequences of that? Like, what do you think you're going to be ahead based on that type of thing? Does it give you advantage socially? What do you see as the forward-looking consequences of that?
I mean, I think I have an advantage just in a class I took last semester. There was the teacher was really picky on what she wanted just in like Word, because this is the class where she wanted us to do our resumes and all that kind of stuff, and she wanted it in a really specific format. And I know there's lots of people that got really bad grades on all of that because they couldn't do it. They couldn't even set a right tab or anything.
Okay. That's fun. I wonder then.
Like after she showed us in class, hey, you go up here, right click, do this, you know.
Hold on, Eric's being rude. Were you ever introduced to the basic tenets of MANDAY back in the day, Eric?
Sorry, she just offered to buy me a new monitor. What am I supposed to do?
Say yes. Yeah, that's part of MANDAY is take free gifts from the woman. Yeah, that's definitely
Disrobe.
a tenet.
Disrobe is what you're supposed to do.
Remove the pants and go say hey.
That's an addendum. It's
What else?
a
Remove pants.
romantic long corollary.
It is. It is.
You're allowed in if you buy us something.
That's right. But you still have to sit in the next booth over. Just say it.
Okay.
Can't put them on the screen.
God, I remember that.
Do you remember that? You came to MANDAY with the wife, and we literally made you sit on the other side of the restaurant. But we still had MANDAY. We still talked to you and had fun, laughed, made jokes. You still contributed, yelling over booths.
They're making fun of you, so you should leave.
You are not allowed.
Well, it sounds like our
Oh, my
conversation
God.
is getting really deeply into what is it to be a Gen Xer. Is that what we're called, Gen Xer, or are we the Gen Y?
We're the millennials, dude.
The millennials, that's right, that's right. So we're getting into what is a millennial and what's the differences and stuff. And I actually have a big-ass rant I want to go on that at some point in time. So let's just shelve this and hit the whole millennial discussion at another time. It's been about an hour and a half or so.
Can I finish what I was going to say, though?
Yeah, I would love for you to do that.
So a lot of people, they didn't end up doing well on the certain project, whatever, right? Like the resume, she wanted us to have right tabs and stuff. And I don't think it's that people couldn't have figured it out. It's that they didn't want to put forth effort to try and figure it out. Or, I mean, I realize this is just in a class, but I mean, I've seen this in other places too.
Okay.
Just, they don't want to put forth the effort to try and figure out something once something gets hard on the computer.
That's exactly what I'm saying right
I
there.
agree. Like, same thing with
Here.
like, on the phones and all that stuff. It's just like, it's right there. Like, our whole world is freaking right there. Like, type some stuff in, you'll get there. Like, even if you don't know how to get there, you could type into Google, how do I find stuff? And it would tell you how to do it, you know? And so, and then we like, that's why I get people coming in asking me about stupid stuff on their phone that literally is fixable in, like, 2 clicks of a button. And then, like, Josh has got people in his class that, like, can't write tab.
And, I mean, I've become kind of like a self-studied mechanic just by how do I change the timing belts on this car. And there's stuff out there on the internet to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why do I take my car to a mechanic when I can learn how to do it myself quickly and easily?
Come on, camera. Do your thing.
You do
But
guys-
I agree.
still have to read it yourself, though, and I think that's a sufficient barrier that kind of keeps out all the people. Like, oh, I'd really like to know how this. Oh, but it's gonna take me like a minute. So
Yep.
So I really like the way the podcast has gone today, dudes. I'm kind of putting a stopper on it because it's about time. It's 11.
Much past bedtime.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Everybody's
it's pretty
favorite game.
bedtime.
Everybody's favorite game. That's all I want to know.
Like
favorite-
right now or of all time?
Favorite mobile game. Like
Favorite
mobile.
Cool.
Mobile
Mobile.
game.
It's got to be on a tablet or a phone.
Kingdom Rush.
God, I hate you. I don't know. Someone else go.
Clash of Clans. / Hearthstone, but right now Clash of Clans.
The only game I play on mine, I play it every day. It's called 7 Little Words.
Flow Free.
No,
Free is fun.
7 Little Words. I do have Flow Free on mine, but no, 7 Little Words is what I play every day. So I guess that would have to be my favorite.
All right, 7 Little Words. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Boom.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't
So many
play a
choices.
lot of games on my phone that
Google was an acceptable answer.
the Google.
What is-
Oh, for real though, when you are
What is my
disconnected
favorite
from the
game?
internet, Google gives you the little Tyrannosaurus Rex, like, oh, you're back in the dinosaur age that you can't do anything. But if you hit the space bar, it turns into a game, and you have the T-Rex that just jumps over stuff.
One of those free running games.
Yeah, for real.
I
Of
didn't
course
know
Ben
that.
knows that.
I play that more than I probably should.
It's pretty
I don't know. I don't have.
All right,
Like,
the
the game I
takeaway.
played the most is Magic. So
Magic, nice. I also have that. So the takeaway, folks, kill your internet. Play the Runaway Tyrannosaurus Rex game with your space bar. It's going to make life good. For anyone that's not us 5 listening, thanks for bearing with us. We know it was shit, and it'll probably be shit next time, but we appreciate you coming back. Have a good one.